What's up, guys? Utu EO. Cool OK. Jin is here. Jeremy Sands. What's up? What's up? So a little update before we get into it. Toby versus Hugh Jackman is finished. I just need the sponsor to approve it. And hopefully they approve it today. They might. They could. Yeah, we have a lot of topics to discuss. We have a lot to dig into. PS5 Pro, that's probably the biggest thing. So I'm actually going to make a list here. So, and I'm sure you guys will inform me, obviously, as to what you want to hear. PS5 Pro. Yeah. There's one more. Oh, yeah. Okay. So PS5 Pro off the start, $700 is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, sponsors, if you put an ad in there, they obviously want to like check the ad to make sure you're not, you know, to make sure you're representing the product as they desire. They're not just going to be like, yeah, here's some money to say whatever you want. But yeah, okay, so Nintendo is going to fucking dominate again, bro. Because the Switch 2 is going to come out. It's going to be a handheld PS4. There's going to be like a new open world Zelda that's going to like look nearly as good as fucking God of War 4, and it's going to fit in your pocket. Okay. New Mario, like they're going to kill it again, bro. They're going to kill it again. Astro's Astrobot, which I just got, by the way. I haven't played it yet, but it's getting here today. That's Sony like scratching the surface after like 20 years. Probably longer. Like 25 years of ignoring their platformers. Right? So Crash Bandicoot, that went multi-platform, not really a Sony fucking company or series anyway. The next Mario game is going to fucking kill it, bro. Because Xbox is washed. Sony's washed. That shit is too expensive. Anybody right now, bro, look up PS5 exclusive games. 90% of that shit is VR. Which, to me, the bar for entry is still too high. It's still kind of a novelty. There aren't really, like, real games on VR. And I've played VR. I played, like, the Vader Immortal game. I played Beat Saber. I've played all that shit before, right? I know there's, like, Half-Life Alyx is probably another big example of, like, oh, this is, like, a game made for VR, like an actual fucking game. But there's not many, right? Not many actual experiences. So, yeah, obviously the Switch 2 is going to be more powerful. Like, why the hell else? What else are they going to do? It's going to beam straight into your fucking brain, but it's going to be like the iPhone 3G, like power-wise. So it's like Final Fantasy VII, God of War Ragnarok you can fucking play on PS4, right? Let's be dead ass. Spider-Man 2 is exclusive, although that'll be on PC soon enough. Final Fantasy VII, that shit's also on PC. I think there's like a extra dick-sucking like Elite level 99.999 deluxe edition on PS5. Whoa. Holy shit. There's like no games on the damn thing. It's a big waste of time. And so, I mean, I've been PC gaming since like 2013 is when I kind of like full stop. But there are there are like, I don't know. I don't know what the merit is really, especially to pay $700 and $80 on top of that if you want an external disk drive. They're psychotic, bro. They lost their minds. Pay $700 for, like, what are people really playing? What experiences, like, I don't know, bro. The most popular game in the world is Fortnite. You can play that on a Switch, bro. Like, every last ounce of content is on the Switch. Obviously, it's not ideal, but, like, yeah, like a Steam Deck. How much is a Steam Deck? Steam Deck price. $450 on Amazon. Yeah, so like upper 400s. Probably a better value. You get Steam sales. You can fucking play emulators on that shit. Like, come on, bro. Alright, this is supposed to be Tears of the Kingdom. This is like fucking Mary Had a Little Lamb, bro. I'm going back to Zelda and chill. Sorry, guys. So yeah. The Switch 1 was like fucking 2 Wii U's taped together. And I'm pretty sure the Switch has sold the most out of this generation. Like, I think you've lost the plot. The Nintendo Switch surpassed the PS4, which is its generational equivalent. Because the Switch came out in like 2017. The PS5 came out 3 years later. So the Switch won that generation. So the Switch 2 is going to do the same. People don't care about power, they care about good games. Astro Bot is not like, it's not pushing the fucking graphics of the system. That's not why people are enjoying it. It's just not. Nintendo just has it, bro. They just know how to create. Like, Breath of the Wild is one of the most selling games of all time. And that shit might as well be running on a fucking cell phone. $32 million units. Yeah, the Switch 2, because people they're not stupid enough to shell out. They're not going to shell out $700 for the PS5 Pro. I refuse to believe it, man. I refuse to believe it. It's not going to happen. Yeah. I mean, what really happened is Nintendo, like if the writing on the wall, if you use that analogy, it's more like Nintendo cracked the code in like the ancient days on fucking cave paintings, right? Like the writing on the wall, like the most fucking prehistoric version of that. And like Sony just like forgot how to fucking type or something, or like it just mutated into an undesirable, like, I'm pretty sure the Sony executive or the PlayStation executive, one of the higher ups was like, yeah, live service games is where it's at. And look what just happened, bro. Concord, that's an epic L, bro. But it's almost like an obscure, it's such a massive L. It worked. Like, they wiped it completely. Like, no one cares about that game. No one ever cared about that game. It's crazy. I've been talking about it for 2 seconds. I don't even remember what the fuck I was saying. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, you should just honestly get a fucking Xbox. You can play all the same games. Yeah. I don't know, bro. Didn't Concord last like a week? or like less than a week. Wasn't it like 6 days that I was like public? Sony has put forth into putting their audience and themselves into making these extreme realistic models and graphics for their big games, and that just doesn't work in the long run. I mean, graphics are obviously a selling point. There is a point of diminishing returns, though. And I think the novelty of, like, Last of Us type games, I think it's worn off, to be honest. I think the, like, oh, I'm so mystified by the story they're able to tell. I think that's worn off. Jeremy Sens, that was not real. That was just a joke tweet. That's not real. I got baited as well, though. I thought that shit was real. Oh, I also, yeah, we gotta talk about the Spider-Man news as well. The movie. Anything left to say about the PS5? I mean, really, it's just too fucking expensive. Sony is shooting themselves in the foot. They're getting clowned on fucking instantly. Nobody's gonna buy that shit. I refuse to believe it. Unless, like, the bubble bursts, we steamroll through the fucking recession, then it's whatever. CJ, power scaling questions, it's gonna be a dono. But yes, I will answer. If you donate $2, I will answer in like a very simple, like, it'll be closer to a yes or no. And the more you donate, the more like in specific I will go. But yeah, MCU Spider-Man. MCU Spider-Man. We have a director, it's the Shang-Chi director. He hasn't really directed much otherwise. If you check his IMDb, it's mostly like 7s. 7 out of 10s. I'll talk about Josh Brolin too. I'll add that to the list. That's kind of but I'll talk about it. So, I mean, Shang-Chi for me is like, okay, it's fine. It's all right. It's kind of not, it's not very memorable. I'm not really clamoring for Shang-Chi to be like, where's the sequel? Where's him in the Avengers? Shang-Chi never, it didn't really hit that much for me. The biggest, like, L, in my opinion, is the writers from Homecoming, Far From Home, and No Way Home are reportedly, which is from Hollywood Reporter, so it's pretty much a fact at this point, unless something insane happens. Unless the director starts, like, sexting people today, then it's probably going to happen. But yeah, Shang-Chi director, and the same writing, and it's also being reported upon. This is more in leak territory that in the Spider-Man 4, in the next Spider-Man MCU movie, the spell is going to get broken. The memory spell, the No Way Home spell, that's going to get broken. So people will, like, maybe forget him. They'll have forgotten him for one movie. And if that's the case, then I'd be very disappointed, because I'll be honest, I don't give a fuck about. I'm unplugged from MCU Spider-Man. I'll be for real. They have failed to make me interested in that interpretation of the character. I just don't give a fuck. I don't care. Because there's only one time, right? Like, it's kind of the problem with the MCU as a whole at this stage in the game, because Iron Man's gone. He's gonna be Doctor Doom. Whoop-de-fucking-do. No one fucking asked for that on the whole earth. And Captain America, Steve Rogers, is gone. There's no X-Men. Like, they still haven't really established an X-Men team. There's Beast, Charles Xavier, Wolverine. Gambit's still alive, now we know, from Deadpool and Wolverine. So they're out there, but, like, I don't really... Spider-Man in the MCU, we had good Spider-Man movies before then. We wanted him in the MCU so he could interact with the characters. And also TASM 2 sucked on ice. So we're like, oh, if we can get Spider-Man movies as good as like Iron Man and Winter Soldier, then let's fucking go. But that's never happened. There are no MC Spider-Man movies that good. So it's like, okay, well, we want to see him interact with these characters. It's happened. It's done. Like, we got it. We've seen Spider-Man had a single scene with Captain America. Peter Parker and Steve Rogers never interacted. There was never a scene of, like, Peter and Captain America talking about responsibility. You know, oh, why do you do this and that? Like, nothing like that. And we're not gonna get that. We're not gonna get Spider-Man and Human Torch being friends because we know that Human Torch actor already, and that motherfucker is not like, what's his name for the new movie? Who's the new fucker? Joseph Quinn? That motherfucker is not looking like he's going to have rapport with Tom Holland. Joseph Quinn. Age. He's 30. So he's 30. He'll probably be 30 in the lore. Tom Holland's 28. So in theory, they could. But Tom Holland's about to play like an 18-year-old again. Like, he'll be 18, 19, or whatever, starting his college, like, freshman year. So he's playing like someone 10 years younger than he actually is. Holy shit. $10 donut from Turner, thank you. I had to beat an old lady with a stick to send a super chat. Thank you, Goat. Let me put you on the screen here. Let me put you on the screen. And same with Iron Man. It's like, we got it, and it's not what I wanted. It's not what I wanted out of that. I rewatched, because funnily enough, I was fucking around on my PS5, and I have Ultimate Alliance 1 on there from when it was on PS4, and I was able to transfer it over. The opening cutscene of Ultimate Alliance 1 with Spider-Man interacting with everybody is perfect. It's fucking perfect. Like, he sees Thor blow up a ship, and he's like, show off. That's real that's actual Spider-Man. But Spider-Man in the MCU thus far, through like the 5 or fucking 6 movies he's been in, has just been, oh my god, whoa, like, nah, bro. Like, if Spider-Man saw Thor blow up a ship like he did in Infinity War, like he flew through those Outrider drop pods, he'd be creaming his fucking jeans. 100%, bro. And it's just not, like, him fanboying over everything is not Spider-Man to me, man. And he's been doing a lot of that. And, like, Far From Home was about the fallout from an Avengers movie from Iron Man dying. And it's all around, like, Spider-Man assumed the role of Iron Man in Far From Home. Like, get the fuck out of my face, bro. And then they have to course correct immediately where they're like, oh shit, we fucked up. People want Spider-Man to be like he was in the old movies. So now he's assuming the mantle of Spider-Man via, inheriting the, like, gifts and burdens of the other 2 Spider-Men, They help him out and help him, like, realize who he's supposed to be. It's like, okay. It's just disappointing. So I don't know whatever this next one's going to be. Apparently it's going to have, like, it'll be street level, but with multiversal elements. I don't know what the hell that means. Like, is Vulture going to come back through a wormhole and fuck shit up, or like what? Like, how do you parse those two things? Is it going to be, because if Spider-Man got the black suit and he's fucking around with Daredevil and it's Kingpin, and like, okay, technically Spider-Man getting the symbiote, that's a multiversal element. That's a multiversal element. So it's like, okay, technically it's still a multiverse movie because that came from another universe. So, but I don't know. I'm just not like, maybe we'll get cool action. Maybe we'll get cool action from... The thing about Ultimate Alliance, though, is like, that's not even really Spider-Man anymore. Like, comic book Spider-Man doesn't act like he did in like 2006 or whenever that game came out. So it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad. If it has multiversal elements, it's not street tier. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's going to be hard for them to walk that tightrope if that's what they want. I want a movie where no one knows who the fuck Spider-Man is. He's chasing some black cat tail, you know. He's listening to the devil on his shoulder. He's got the symbiote and bulleting him. He's all alone. He's darker. He's grittier. He's fighting alongside Daredevil, dark, gritty character. And then Daredevil's like, yo, bro, you got to get religion, bro. You're going too hard in the paint, man. Bless up, pray up. You know what I mean? He's on some like Mark Wahlberg Instagram reel shit is how Daredevil meets him. But it's probably just going to, I don't know. It's going to be like he has the black suit and then he takes it off because of his friends or something. Ned's going to be like, hey, man, this isn't like you. Get rid of that thing. I don't know. Not hyped. Not really hyped. But maybe Spider-Man, maybe Shang-Chi will be in it because it's the same director. He'll teach him Way of the Spider and we get like cool action scenes. We've got like a martial artist Spider-Man. You know, for the first time in the movies. Could be cool. Black suit martial arts could be cool. So I don't know. I'm not particularly hyped. MCU Spider-Man has been like very mid for a long time. I haven't really loved anything. Like Civil War, super excited for. And it's another thing too is like people say I'm nostalgic for this or that. I'm nostalgic for every live action Spider-Man. Like that motherfucker Tom was cast like 10 years ago. His first appearance is 9 years ago. I'm sure he was announced like a year before that he's going to be Spider-Man. So it's been 10 years, bro. Like, when does nostalgia stop? Like, how old do motherfuckers think I have to be? Like, I'm nostalgic as shit for the Andrew Garfield movies, bro. Like, Amazing TASM 1, that was like, that hit me right. That hit me right at the perfect age for that film. I have shit where, like, bro, at Walmart, there was like a preview DVD that had like 15 minutes of the movie or something, and it was bundled with a copy, a little mini DVD sized copy of the first Lizard appearance of Spider-Man, and I still have that like mini issue of, it's like ASM 4 or 6 or something. I still have that shit, so I'm nostalgic for all that shit. Like I was a kid when fucking Tom Holland was cast. I couldn't drive yet. I'm nostalgic for all that shit. But when I rewatch all these movies, and as like more life happens to me, I appreciate the Raimi movies infinitely more than when I rewatch any of the other movies. Like it's that's just the way it is. That's MCU Spider-Man stuff. I don't think there's really any other news there. Not much for me to say about like James Earl Jones, but Darth Vader is a goat. Darth Vader is the fucking best fictional villain ever, for sure. James Earl Jones is the voice of that guy. There'd be no Darth Vader. Like that voice is iconic. It's probably the most iconic fucking voice ever, to be honest. Like actual legend. And you know, there's a lot. When people pass away, of course, people are going to be sad. But I think, you know, he made it to 93. He's a legend. People knew that they loved him. He had decades of adoration and renown. Motherfucker was also Mufasa, like a legend. Like 1-2 punch of just top tier characters. Also, I added that GIF to the template like days ago, like a week ago or something. The fucking Vader versus Maul AI GIF. I just thought that shit was funny. But yeah, he had a whole legacy, he had a whole life. I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure his like wife had passed away earlier. James Earl Jones wife. Yeah, she passed away in 2016. So once that happens, and that was a pretty long time ago, like he had a life with somebody and then they went and he held it in there, but once that happens, it's like he lived a full life. He played one of the greatest fucking characters of all time. That Darth Vader will be a legend forever. Darth Vader is one of the most iconic characters. I mean, you can't say enough. You can't, like, it's Darth Vader. It's just like George Washington and Darth Vader, like just two permanent fixtures. Like he's at that level. And he always will be. So give one out to the GOAT. Absolutely. I'll talk about Josh Brolin as Green Lantern because somebody mentioned that earlier, and then I'll get into a couple more the more meaty things. And then hopefully for the rest of the chat, it could just kind of be like me and you guys chatting it up. I can answer some power scaling donos. But Josh Brolin, I mean, the other contenders that have been released, it's like Ewan McGregor is an example. We're gonna get old man Hal Jordan. We're gonna get 90s, like just pre-parallax Hal Jordan. There's no way around it. People want like a young, plucky Hal Jordan. We're not gonna get that. Jon Stewart will definitely be younger. He'll probably be the Green Lantern on the League. I don't think it's going to be Hal if he's going to be that much older than Superman. Batman, it's yet to be seen. I imagine he'll probably be 40 or 50. Just realistically, he's going to have Nightwing. He's going to have Damian. So Superman will be like a weird odd one out. It's going to be a little interesting to see him younger than like Hal Jordan and Batman by like a pretty substantial margin. Guy Gardner, like Nathan Fillion's also pretty up there. Maybe Kyle, we'll get Kyle and he'll be like age appropriate. He'll be like 20 something. There's just a lot of old, like there's not like a new generation of Hollywood yet, really. Like it's like fucking Tom Holland, that motherfucker's 30. And Timothy Chalamet, who's also 30. Which Lantern do y'all prefer, Hal or John? John is probably the one that I was most exposed to as a kid, obviously because of Justice League. But Hal also, like the First Flight movie. And I feel like I've just read more comics about Hal. I feel like Hal has better books, but John has just been adapted most consistently and famously. But yeah, interesting take. Not sure what they're gonna do with that. But Kyle could be interesting. Tom King likes Kyle. I think Kyle is probably Tom King's favorite Lantern. He wrote about him in a miniseries, Kyle Rayner and the Omega Men. So Tom King is heavily involved, for those who don't know, with the DC movies going forward. He's like writing some of them and approving them. So he's big. He's big in the biz. Now, onto the Metal Gear Solid remake. We got some news today. There was another Metal Gear Hotline. Metal Gear Hotline, production hotline. And they talked about a few things. We got a good chunk of a cutscene, the opening cutscene just before the Virtuous mission where Naked Snake does the infamous Halo jump. And it looks good. There are a little bit of some odd gameplay quirks, like when you roll, the camera doesn't shake and the walking is kind of like floaty. I feel like they could definitely patch that. The best thing that's apparent about Delta's production is they're very aware of what people are saying. They've been testing the game and collecting feedback all the time, even negative feedback. They address head on. They've addressed the Hideo Kojima question every time. They've name dropped him. They've said, like, here's how we're handling the credits. And so I think I'm happy with what I've seen. I would definitely cop the game just no matter what. unless like it told me particularly to go fuck myself at the start and like maybe pay $10 every 10 minutes or something. Then I wouldn't get it, but otherwise. But I am genuinely excited for it. They talked about Master Collection 2 as well, and it seems like they're in the process of HD remastering the games going forward. Because it's interesting, they're like, some of the games haven't had HD versions. Which makes me think it's like, okay, the Master Collection natively runs at 720p, like 1080, like internally 1080p upscaled, so not true 1080p. So their standard is like, okay, 720p, which is interesting because I don't think, obviously, Phantom Pain is rendered at 1080p. If they were to re-release that in a collection, it would just be the 1080p version. Like, that's, duh. Peace Walker has an HD version. That was in the HD collection, Legacy collection. So Wilmer, MGS4 is pretty much confirmed, matter of fact, to be in the next Master Collection. They asked the like producer, they're like, oh, what about MGS4? And he's like, yeah, 1, 2, and 3 were on the last one, so connect the dots. Like, he pretty much just said, obviously MGS4 is going to be on the next one. MGS4 is 1,000% leaving the PS3. It's happening. We're going to get MGS4 on PC. 100%. That's inevitable now. The next vid is Toby Spider-Man versus Wolverine. Hugh Jackman Wolverine. So look forward to that. It's big. But anyway. It's interesting because think of like the collection part 2, right? The most like standard, non-interesting version of that is Peace Walker 4 and 5. 4 runs at 720. Peace Walker runs at, I think, 1080p natively when they did the HD collection. I think that's one of the rare games that just is 1080p, 60 FPS, because it's a PSP remaster as opposed to a PS2 remaster. So the only game, I mean, like, what other games need an HD version at the standard that they output the first collection? To be honest, the only game would be Portable Ops. And they did name drop Portable Ops in the thing because the producer, pretty much the new Kojima going forward, is the guy who produced or whatever, I think he directed Portable Ops. He said recently he directed it in the hotline. So Portable Ops does not have an HD version. That's the only other game that has not been remastered. Rising is also HD if they were to put that on there. Pretty much what they meant is they're like, yeah, there are games that we want to put on Volume 2 that don't have a 720p version. And like console optimization, like a dual stick, control scheme. I think it's definitely, Portable Ops is the only game that makes sense. Like, unless they're going to add Acid, unless they're going to put Acid on there instead of Portable Ops, that would be really weird. So yeah, I mean, I think Volume 2, based on process of elimination, Portable Ops does seem confirmed. There's going to be an HD version of Portable Ops in a way that they did Peace Walker. That seems to be confirmed to me. That's the only Metal Gear Solid game that does not have a 720p version. MGS4 720p at launch. Go down the list. So yeah, I think MGS4 and Portable Ops are pretty much confirmed for the next one here. Pretty crazy. I would love to see them just be like, all right, here's Volume 2. It's 4 Peace Walker, Portable Ops, and then maybe Acid 1 and 2 is the like bonus games. And then they're like, all right, here's Volume 3, and it's or maybe put Ghost Babel on the last one too. And they're like, all right, Volume 3, Phantom Pain, Ground Zeroes, Rising, and I don't know what the fuck they could really honestly do next. Like, Survive. They're definitely not putting fucking Survive on anything. You could still play that on PS5. I don't see Ground Zeroes or V. I don't see Ground Zeroes or Phantom Pain rather being in the collection, but because you could go into GameStop, get the definitive MGS5 like bundle or whatever, and play that on PS5. And their whole shtick with this is, let's have these games playable on modern platforms. But I kind of just discovered that for myself. I think Portable Ops is confirmed. I think there's going to be an HD version of Portable Ops on Volume 2. That's all. That's the only thing that could really mean. So, well, we're getting Delta, and if Delta does well, we might get fucking MGS6 or whatever, or a remake of Solid 1. The last little piece of news I have up here that I want to discuss is the Zelda timeline, because Breath of the Wild had a guidebook that was like art and development notes, and then also like a lore section in the back that talked about the timeline and the history of the game and the history of the tribes and the culture and et cetera, et cetera. And in Japan, the equivalent of that for Tears of the Kingdom has been released. People have gotten their hands on it, and it's beginning to be translated. I don't think that's true. I don't think people are mad that people are not mad. No one's mad. Nobody cares. It's a remake, bro. Nobody was mad that Resident Evil Remake was the same story. Nobody was mad that RE4 was the same story. Nobody was mad. Nobody was like, yay, RE2, they changed the story, yay. No, that's not how, no. Nobody's mad. There's a slight critique that it might be too similar and superfluous, but no one's mad. But anyway, the new timeline guide, yeah, that Lonk video is not good. That guy, he jumped the gun for sure on that. But new timeline information is out. In my opinion, I don't give a fuck what anyone said. I don't give a fuck what Aonuma has said, or Fubuyashi, the director of Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. I don't give a fuck what they have said in the past. This new game is not, it's not on the timeline. It is not on the Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time timeline. It's not. It is a new timeline. It is a reboot. Absolutely, it is a reboot. It is a reboot. And that means that there's no scaling connections. You can't scale one Ganondorf to the other. You can't scale a Zelda to the other. It's not possible. There is no correlation. It is two timelines. Breath of the Wild, Age of Calamity, and Tears of the Kingdom, they're all doing their own thing. They're all off in their own rebooted timeline. Because there is absolutely, here's what we have, right? When Breath of the Wild was coming out, and I think Breath of the Wild could have easily been in any one of the three timelines, easily. Tears of the Kingdom fucked it up. And people who like point to comments from years ago, it's very interesting how they do that, because if you look at that, right? If you're like, oh, I don't believe this official timeline. I don't believe Hyrule Historia, because Miyamoto said in 1992 that all the links are the same or whatever, right? I don't give a fuck about the new timeline, the new official information, because of this thing that was said. Aonuma said during Breath of the Wild's development that it's after Ocarina of Time. However, the new lore suggests there was an original founding of Hyrule, which was with the fucking Rauru guy, the fucking Zonai guy. That the Zonai created Hyrule. There's nothing in the new book to suggest it's a refounding. It doesn't even reference any of the other games. It says that the fucking goddesses created the secret stones instead of the Triforce. There's nothing about the Triforce. Nothing. There's no connective tissue anywhere in sight. There's nothing. There's no door open. They don't talk about how Rauru was also the name of a sage, an ancient sage, mind you, who Rauru the sage should be older than Rauru the Zonai. Realistically, he should be. Hyrule Historia says that the founders of Hyrule were the descendants of Zelda from Skyward Sword. Not a Zonai freakazoid from the sky. Not true. So these two things don't correlate to each other. They can't connect. Unless you apply just outlandish headcanon. And then also, so they founded Hyrule in this new timeline. Ganondorf then from the new game was born, and there was no other Gerudo males after that Ganondorf. So there was the original Ganondorf, and there's no room for Ocarina of Time Ganondorf to have been born. It's a new timeline. I don't even know if Skyward Sword happened. The only possible cope is Fubuyashi said, or Fubuyasha, I don't fucking remember, the director of Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, Skyward Sword. He's like, oh, well, if it's possible, it's possible that maybe this is a second founding, right? So he says, oh, it's possible. He says there's a possibility, but the timeline book just says, here's how it is. This is the original, this is the founder of Hyrule. So I don't give a fuck what one person says is possible if another official piece of lore that same director approved of, I don't give a fuck what he says is possible if this other equally legitimate source says this is the way it is. So yeah, it's a new thing altogether. It's a new thing. New timeline. With that said, I'm going to get a beverage, and then I will be back, and then this will be more like a typical stream where I talk to you guys back and forth. All right, goats. I hath returned. The floor is open to all of you now. So what happens is Gerudos, they tempt Hylian men, and then they all give birth to females. And all of those females are pure Gerudo females. They just have such dominant genes. And, once every 100 years, it's a male. But since the founding of Hyrule in the new timeline, Um, there's not been any males, so there's just the one Ganondorf. Mystical bacon. I already explained why that's not possible. It's not. It's not after any game. It's its own thing. Do I think Batman and Iron Man would hate each other? Maybe. I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about it. Ruben, I've already go back in the stream. That was like the first thing I talked about for like 15 minutes. Cheese, you are now on the Nightwing agenda. Thank you, bro. Welcome to the fold. As the chief arbiter of said agenda, I welcome you with open arms. Do you know how to scale Sun Wukong? How to do it is you would play the game and maybe look into Journey of the West and some of the Buddhist principles and concepts. But I have no interest in scaling that character myself. But if you're asking how to do it, then there you go. That is how one would do that. So this just in from Hollywood Reporter. Josh Brolin will not be playing Hal Jordan. So they're going to get some other motherfucker to do it. Thank you, Tristan. Scale Yost versus Hulk. Any scaling questions are going to require a donation. You got to donate to have a scaling question answered. That's the way it's got to be.
You ever get the feeling something really bad is about to...
Thoughts on people downplaying the feats of Batman's reacting to speedsters, saying they aren't going full speed. What's 1% of a measurable speed? What's 1% of being beyond the speed formula? Do you think it's 100 million miles per hour? Do you think it's a million miles per hour? I can see Ewan McGregor. Maybe. Pretty legendary roles if he's, you know, Obi-Wan Kenobi and Hal Jordan. That's pretty... Those are pretty top-tier hero characters. Yeah, the core gameplay of Delta will not be changed. And I think that's the way it's got to be. If you donate Rashim, I will watch whatever the hell that is. If you donate like $20, I'll watch all that shit. I'll watch all that Zim out animation, Hulk versus Saitama. I'll watch all those if you donate $20. And I'll stream it right here. Trying to recreate the GIF. Yeah, bro, pull up. I got my lightsabers.
It depends on the videos. He's asking me to watch multiple fights. Multiple, like 17, like Hulk versus Saitama is 17 minutes. Hulk versus Superman, 17 minutes. So if he wants me to watch all these, then yeah, that's a time sink. Are they going for Hal being Parallax? I'm not sure. I could see it though. I think the Parallax arc is really good. I really like Parallax. I like Parallax Hal a lot. It's just gonna be interesting because, you know, I think DC characters have gone through a lot more phases than Marvel characters, to be honest. How much for a 10-minute Nightwing versus Batman vid? We can do like $1 a minute on that, I guess. You can give me $10 for that. And I'll react to it. Matt Reeves. Yeah, I mean... I just have to hope. I mean, we're gonna get Damian in the DCU. That's really where all the stock's going. Damian's not my favorite Robin. I don't give that much of a fuck about Damian, but we'll get Nightwing. Nightwing will be in there. How much for a 10-minute Nightwing versus Batman vid? If I made it, it would be way more than 10 minutes. I have definitely a lot more than 10 minutes to say about that. I mean, how much are you willing to put on the table? Let's start. Let's broach the conversation in those terms. There's nothing in the book that implies. It just says this is the founding of Hyrule. It says here's the age of the gods. And then like the age of myth or whatever. And then it talks about the Zonai. There's nothing in the book to suggest a second founding. The only thing that suggests a second founding is an out-of-universe statement by the director. And the director can obviously change his mind. And the work therein should be more evocative of that than a candid, just like, again, just out-of-statement, uncontextualized statement. I would not recommend the Koei movies. They're not that good. How many martial arts do I need to learn for me to become Batman? It depends what standard you're going for. In the real world, if, like, to do what Batman does, which is, you know, stop the occasional crime, you probably want to have, like, jujitsu, boxing, and fucking Krav Maga. So if you master all of those, you should be pretty good. Master those three. I think we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, Tristan. They could have Ewan McGregor around for fucking 5 Green Lantern. Like, he'll be in the show, he'll be in the movie, and he'll be in multiple movies, and then he'll get fucking Parallax. Like, once you consider, like, the fact that there's really no amount of movies that could faithfully cover and depict most character arcs in comics, you kind of just have to accept what it is. You kind of just have to accept it. You have to be like, oh, well, they did a 5-film build-up for Parallax. I guess that's enough. As opposed to whatever it was, like fucking 60 years of Hal Jordan stories before then.
Oh, brother, the brick scaling. We know for a fact, just based on non-biased fucking guide statements, that Goblin was begging for his life at the end of Spider-Man 1. So, it's also like, do you really think it's an accurate thing to say that, like, this power armor of goblins that is for certain durable enough to at least match his own goblin bomb? Like, Spider-Man gets hit by a goblin bomb, and Goblin can damage him with strikes even before that, even before he tanks the goblin bomb. So Green Goblin physically is above the fucking goblin bomb. He scales to it. So, and then Spider-Man was beating the hell out of him to the point that he's like objectively out of universe, no bias, just guidebook statements say he was begging for his fucking life. Does it really make sense to say that his fucking armor is like weaker than if he hit his own head with a brick? Like, the brick doesn't shatter off of his power armor that's more durable than a fucking pumpkin bomb that can vaporize people. Also, we know he's not holding back on Spider-Man because earlier in that scene, he was just going to pierce him through the fucking heart with his glider. Like, he was going to fly into him on the bridge. So he's definitely not holding back. He just wants to fucking kill him. He, like, threw a fucking grenade right in his face. I'm not on this stream going to give advice on how to fucking fight crime. That's not what I'm going to do. People might take that shit seriously and get themselves killed, so I'm not going to do that. Is Cass also part of current Superman? No. Base Superman is not scaled to Cass. If No Way Home never existed, would Tom be the strongest? Yes. Before No Way Home, Tom was definitely the strongest. And then they just had Goblin beat the shit out of him for some fucking reason. Batman would knock you out in one shot every time. Justice League lineup, just probably do the cartoon. It's probably the best bet. People argue that Goblin got stronger. His bare face did not get stronger. All Goblin did was he put, like, weapons on his armor. Like, his upgrades are like, oh, I put a blade on my arm. That's it. That's all they say. It's just such copium to say he just got his fucking bare face got stronger. They never comment it. Goblin's never like, whoa, that would have knocked me out in the other universe. He doesn't say anything about Tom, like, being stronger than Toby. Like, nobody says anything like that. More Jarro would be cool. Is Batfleck versus MCU Cap close or one-sided? Fairly one-sided. Yeah. Goblin's upgrades are only relevant to the final No Way Home fight. That's the only time he has upgrades. The Kondo doesn't mean shit. The Kondo, he's just like in his Spider-Man 1 armor without a mask. So he really should be less durable than when Toby fought him. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. Cool, okay. That's all they're doing. No, the Beyond the Spider-Verse stuff was it was denied by, I think, Christopher Miller, as well as the composer for the Spider-Verse movies. Yeah. The only, like, nobody in No Way Home got inherently stronger. Like, just from being in the universe, that did not happen. That's complete, like, that's just huffing paint thinner. That's somebody who their brain just refuses to process what they're saying. They're like, I don't like that Doc Ock just bullied the Iron Spider. He must have gotten stronger. He must be stronger than he was in Spider-Man 2. And therefore, no one in Spider-Man 2 or 3 actually scales to Tom Holland at all. That must be the case. That must be the intent. Sandman, I don't know. Maybe he got weaker. Electro did not get weaker from, or he didn't get stronger from being in the universe. It was like different. It was different energy. And he liked it because, just for whatever reason, the difference allowed him to have like a body that wasn't blue. And so he liked it. And then the arc reactor is stronger than anything in the TASMverse. And then once he wields that, he's obviously more powerful. But just like Doc Ock being in the universe, that doesn't mean shit. Another $5 from Turner. Gabi versus Andrew. Very hard to say. I would probably give it to Goblin. I think Goblin with his upgrades is probably fucking decapitating Andrew, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's tough, right? So Andrew tanks the pumpkin bomb. He's not even bruised. He's not burnt. Whatever. And that's after he had been laid into by Electro. Electro's electricity attacks your bones and organs and muscles. And it's a stronger Electro than he'd ever fought. So the bombs are just not shit to, like, peak Andrew. Like, uninjured Andrew. The bombs aren't doing anything to him. Speed-wise, Goblin, by the end, was tagging, tagged Tom, reacted Tom, cut into him, punched him. Definitely scales to Tom by the end of the movie. Lizard at the end definitely did better against Tom than Goblin, obviously. And Andrew dealt with Lizard pretty soundly. It might be like a matchup thing, though, as well, right? Like, Andrew is clearly more experienced at fighting Lizard. Kind of knows what his weaknesses and strengths are, even if they're kind of like nondescript. Like, he's fought him before. So he knows. He just has an advantage in that sense that Tom doesn't have. But physically, like, it's really tough. It's really hard to say. I think per the fact that Goblin can, like, stab Toby, he can cut Tom. I think that's his best bet. If Goblin has his glider as well, that's pretty important. Like, the glider can fucking cut off Doc Ock arms. And Doc Ock arms can tear apart the Iron Spider. So it's tough. Tom was bloodlusted. Yeah, that's true. If we go from the condo fight, Goblin did way better against Tom than Lizard. I wouldn't say that. Every time Tom and Lizard fight, Lizard just fucking slams him like no difficulty and eats all of his attacks. Yeah, you could argue that as well. He does have nanotech. What people don't realize is the integrated suit, it's nanotech all over. The whole suit is different. It's not just the like silver chest piece. If you look, there are details all over the suit that are different from the upgraded like black and red Far From Home suit. The whole suit's different. So he does have nanotech all over him. So I don't know. Goblin versus Andrew is an interesting debate. I will say this though, in the trailer for the Lego set, Andrew just webs Goblin off of his glider and one-shots him. So there you go. It's... We'd have to argue that, like... it is interesting. It is really interesting because... realistically... the integrated suit should be more resistant to electricity than whatever the hell Andrew has done to his suit. Like, whatever. He reversed the polarity and shit, you know? Because Iron Man had, like, his suit would just absorb electricity. Sorry. His suit would just absorb electricity after Iron Man 2 in Avengers 1. And the nanotech in the integrated suit is just from the Iron Spider, which is of the same family tree as the Mark 50. It's like a little bit less potent than the Mark 50. Which the Mark 85, which is again a nanotech suit, also just absorbed electricity from Thor's lightning. So it's like Andrew probably holds up better against electricity than Tom in the final fight. So it's like, what do we really have to say? Do we have enough to say that Tom, with a bloodlust boost, is handling Electro's electricity better than Andrew? I'm not sure. I would probably say there's not enough to say, no. Like I said, the integrated suit should be better at like absorbing or redirecting electricity than Andrew's cloth suit that he might have like magnetized. At best. It's also a stronger Electro than Andrew has ever had to like anticipate or, you know, augment his suit around. It's tough. It's tough. Because Andrew just doesn't really interact with any of the Raimi villains. It's like, here's the scaling we know. Here's what we know for a fact. Toby does way better against Lizard than Andrew does. Andrew does better against Lizard than Tom does. Tom is injured, and then he gets bloodlusted. Toby and Andrew also do way better than Tom does at any point during the movie against Electro. Electro kind of fucks up Tom at any point. Like, even like a weakened Electro in this, like when we first see him in No Way Home, just puts Tom on his ass, like reeling. So we know that. And so it's like, really the only unknown is what does the Bloodlust amp offer him? Like, how would Tom do against Lizard if Tom like wanted fucking Lizard dead, you know, and like Lizard fucking killed Aunt May? Like, how would he do? And I don't know if we can really quantify it. Yeah, Toby's definitely stronger than Tom. There's no doubting that. In resistance, maybe. Well, electricity, it still is like pain tolerance, whatever, durability. I think Tom has better feats. He definitely does, but scaling. The whole point of scaling is how would one character do against another when there aren't like They don't actually fight. They don't really have like feats like that. So we have to compare how they perform to the same enemies. That's how you scale. And we have enough, I think, to come to a conclusion based on that. Do Game Andrew scale to Game Andrew scale equal to Game Toby? Game Andrew is probably stronger than Game Toby. Game Toby has a little bit more of like, you could argue, the way I look at it is the games aren't canon to Toby, obviously, but everything that happens in that like non-canon timeline is still being held to the standard of like the canon one, if that makes sense. So Sam Raimi would see things. He disapproved of elements of the first game, right? And the second game. And then Avi Arad, for what it's worth, he is like, yes, this is a continuation. This expands on the movie of Spider-Man 3 for the 3 game. So it's like, are they canon? No, but Game Toby, canon Toby should be able to do everything Game Toby's done, and potentially vice versa. But it's a little iffy. Is Bloodlusted Tom above Goblin, or did Goblin let him win? I don't think Goblin necessarily let him win. Goblin does want Tom to kill him. So there is that. I don't think he's fighting to kill him. I feel like that would kind of be antithetical to what Goblin's trying to achieve in that movie, which is make Tom, like, you know, understand or agree with his morality, his position. So I'm not sure. I don't think Goblin was trying to murder Tom. I think he was trying to torture him and make him like see that his way is the way to do it. But Tom just does he just beats Goblin, right? No way around it. Does Unkindness reach Wonder Woman, the one who defeated Darkest Knight and Cass? I was watching your videos in the Shrines versus Titans, so I got that impression. You did not get that impression on accident. What do you think is the best portrayal of the MCU Hulk? Yeah, Avengers 1 or 2. You don't need to watch the fight in slow motion, bro. Goblin got licks in, but he definitely lost. The interesting thing, though, is by the end, he's not even bleeding, and he's like laughing and trying to provoke Tom, as opposed to Tom, who's been like cut and bruised in the fight. So it's like Tom can win the fight, but Goblin's still like. The big point there is he's not begging for fucking mercy like he was against Toby. Did Game Andrew beat both Sam Raimi Venom and Sandman? No. It's not Sam Raimi Venom and Sandman. Do you think she wins, though? If you donate, I can go into that. I can give you a very detailed answer on Unkindness versus Golden Wonder Woman 1 million or whatever. Anti-crisis empowered Wonder Woman. Is MCU Thor far above DCU Superman now, or is Superman still stronger? Thank you, Tiger Claw, for becoming a member. If you guys become members, you just get your questions answered automatically. Thank you, Tiger Claw. MCU Thor far above. If you really think that Thor at this point is like star level, for whatever reason, Key Issues did a video about that, about if Thor has surpassed Thanos, that you guys should watch. If you believe that, then Thor would win. However, if you think Thor is more in the like relativistic to the speed of light and like country level, which I think is more reasonable still, then Superman, DCEU Superman would definitely fuck him up. Especially because the Snyder Cut is canon now, thanks to the Flash. And Superman was like provoking Flash nearly into going into fucking immeasurable speed territory for Flash to survive. So like Superman in the DCEU might low-key be like the uppermost echelon of finite speed, at least. Because Flash can go far beyond the speed of light and then back in time. And if you notice, when Flash activated his powers in the Snyder Cut, he raised a hand up quickly towards where the mother box had detonated, and that sent him into the Speed Force. And when he's fighting Superman, at the last second before Lois shows up, Flash does the same motion to raise one hand up to go into the Speed Force. It's subtle foreshadowing. And so he's like, holy shit, if I don't go back in fucking time, he might kill me. The game that they're talking about is there's a Java mobile game for Amazing Spider-Man 1, and you just fight Sandman and fucking Venom in it. And it's like a weird version of the TASM 1 story. I am definitely looking forward to the Cassandra and I'm definitely looking forward to Cassandra and Lady Shiva crossing paths again. That's some good stuff. Every time. I think Cass getting the spotlight is good. Good character. Definitely the best Batgirl. I don't know anyone that has skilled Injustice Superman, no. The canonicy of the Flash movie can be questioned, like the overall story, sure, but a lot of plot points contradict both Snyder Cut and Justice. They reference the Snyder Cut explicitly. They reference the going back in time shit. So really, no matter how you look at it, that Superman scaling I presented earlier would be the case. Whether you want to like nitpick it and say like, okay, maybe according to the Flash, it's like a weird mix, like they reference both. They still reference the fact that Flash like went back in time, which he did not do in Justice League. And also the Superman fight from the Snyder Cut is referenced in Justice, or not in the Flash. The Snyder Cut Superman fight against the Justice League is referenced in the Flash. The New 52 did a lot of damage for characters. They just stopped progressing naturally as they were. And it took them a long time to try to get back on course, which it seems like they're finally doing with Cass. Dead Kev. Thank you, man. Thank you for becoming a member. You get all your questions answered. Offer it. No, he says he goes back in time by going far beyond the speed of light. That's what he says when he turns back time in the Snyder Cut. He never does anything when he's like, oh, if I'm approaching light speed. We never see anything happen at that rate. But we do know that if he goes far beyond the speed of light, he becomes immeasurable, which is obvious. What's up, Tavon? Yeah, man. Thank you, Dead Kev. I appreciate it. Favorite Nightwing moments? the Obsidian Age, where he leads the Justice League like backup team after the main team is dead. It's a really good moment. There's a moment in Jeff Johns' Teen Titans where like Tim's team is fighting with the Justice League, and Nightwing just shows up and everybody just stops, just because he appears. Battle for the Cowl, him beating Jason, is definitely a top Nightwing moment. Beating Batman in like Nightwing fucking issue 30 or whatever it was from New 52. Yeah, I talked to Lonk. He was like, yeah, I fucked up. He agreed. He's like, yeah, I don't even think he played the game. I don't think he played Tears of the Kingdom. I think he was just trying to experiment with a Zelda video. He did, in fact, say that. Well, Tiger Claw, then it comes down to feats versus statements, because feat-wise, we know Heat Vision is light speed. And we have Wonder Woman in BVS reacting to it, blocking it multiple times. Fucking Batman dodges light speed too. Sorry. And Superman statues, all of them. And as Tiger Claw pointed out, or not Tiger Claw, as General Shepard pointed out, there is also the nanosecond shit in for Cyborg. So it's feats versus statements. It's also just possible that Flash is just different. He's a speedster connected to the Speed Force, so him going, you know, near the speed of light could have a different effect. It's not aim dodging, no. It's not aim dodging. They react after. Their bodies move out of the way as the beam's coming towards them. It's not aim dodging. How long is the video? So I recorded... My recording of it was a lot longer, but I think I'm used to writing more long-winded videos for clients. And so in the edit, I was like, all right, let's trim this down to what it needs to be. And so it's closer to 23 minutes now. It wouldn't reflect because the gauntlets are meant to absorb the energy. But I'm pretty sure it still redirects off of... Cyborg's gauntlets, or not, or like his shield. I can find the scene. I'll check for you guys. Flash also statues Aquaman in the Snyder Cut, and Aquaman is equal to Wonder Woman, who can dodge heat vision, which is stated to be a light, beam of light. Power scaling video for Kratos. Not really my territory, but it could be maybe like Kratos versus Vader would be a good topic. Spider-Man needs a spider sense in order to dodge stuff like lightning. Spider sense is very inconsistent in how it, like the actual effect of it. Because he could just know, oh, danger is happening, right? But he won't know from where. And so if he's dodging something like specifically, he would be like, okay, danger's here, but that doesn't really tell him where it's coming from. And so if he does dodge it, it would mean he's just using his own speed to do so. But then it's also written sometimes like it's fucking he's MUI Goku and his body just like has autonomous reaction like from any position, but doesn't seem likely. Thing about Spider-Man as well is like his enemies don't have precog. So it's like, let's say he is at that level, right? Let's say his precog is so good that it just makes his body automatically dodge light. His enemies can still fucking tag him, right? So his enemies would have to be faster than light. Still saving money for that Kingdom Hearts vid. I'll make it. I'll do it. I'll do my due diligence. What do you say, Spider-Man is underrated or overrated in terms of power scaling? Probably overrated, to be honest. I say that because there's a cognitive dissonance where, because Spider-Man is most people's like favorite superhero, or at least like the favorite Marvel hero, they argue that he's the strongest. Like it stems from that, like the desire or whatever to see him beat everybody because he's their favorite. That happens most with Spider-Man. So I'd say overrated. Tavon, if you donate, I will answer that. Power scaling questions versus battle questions. It's gotta be a dono. How much for you to make a My Adventures with Superman scaling vid? I mean, here's the thing, is like, that video on my channel would probably be more niche than otherwise. And so for someone to donate, it would have to be like enough money that I'm still profiting nearly as much as I would be if the video was like more so targeting my audience or even expanding beyond it. So it would definitely have to be a few $100s. Listen, I'll be honest, I think overrating Batman is typically more warranted than overrating Spider-Man. I think Batman's high ends are way more justifiable than Spider-Man's. Of course, you can take it too far. You take it too far no matter what you're doing. Matthew McConaughey, according to Hollywood Reporter, reputable source, not in conversation for Hal Jordan. So Josh Brolin, Matthew McConaughey, it's not going to be them. So we can rest easy. We can rest easy on that one. Is that amount of successful video for you? It depends. Depends on certain variables. I'm not going to talk too much insider baseball with you. Who do you want as Hal Jordan? I don't care. I don't care about casting. Someone who is good. I'm sorry, Ruben. I really don't think it'll be. You're not going to get young, reckless Hal Jordan. If the vid is members only, the issue with that is like, you'd still want me to put the effort into it to be accurate, and to do that, I might as well just it just be a real video that makes profit. I think at this point 300's my going rate for like a full-fledged video. If you want to see a Crisis video with my level of editing, research, etc., it's 300. Now, if you want me to do like a verse I've never fucking heard of that has like tie-in novels and shit, it's case by case. But some comic book shit, you know, like Assassin's Creed would not be too difficult by comparison. $5 from Turner. Turner, you are the GOAT, bro. Can somebody like... Turner is embarrassing everybody else in this chat. And, it's sad to see, like... Are y'all really gonna get shown up like this? I'll put you near here. Oh, what if on Toji from JJK was hard to take out Spidey, whatever version would be an interesting vid. I'd probably collab with Tyler for that one. He'd probably be pulling up with the JJK knowledge. 300 is not that bad compared to Seth, Clyde, and Chuck. Yeah. The Arkham vid's pretty good. Arkham and fucking Rocky ranked. Not bad, right? Not bad. Not bad. Not a bad 1-2 punch, huh? Yeah, that's pretty good. Those are some good vids, eh? When I get the money. Which video is yours? What were you suggesting? Let me look. Oh, the My Adventures of Superman. Cash App would be best, yeah. Just like one, if you have the money, just Cash App me and comment and be like, yo, check Cash App. If you did that though as well, like, I would also see, do you have a Discord? Like if you did that, if you just hit me up in stream, like I said, and just be like, yo, catch Cash App, then you can also join the Discord for that. That'd be a baller move. What is the stream layout? Shit's peak, bruh. That's that good shit. Batman has a lot of just fuck you, like, gadgets and shit, man. I don't know. Like, if he throws a bomb that's, like, staggered fucking Doomsday, then... What's really gonna happen to most characters? Rashim, I told you the deal, brother. $20 and I'll watch them. Or whatever. If anybody in the chat has alternate currency, we'll just look up the equivalent of $20 and send it. And that'll be good for videos. I had a debate with someone that they think the enemy villains were amps. Sandman had more sand. Lizard got stronger. Goblin amped his armor. I mean, some of that's true, but it's like, who gives a fuck? Is it quantifiable? Is it really like combatively effective? Lizard, we have no fucking clue when he was taken from at the time. Like, we don't know if, like, how much stronger. You can't, there's no way to quantify it. There's really no way to do it. Sandman had more sand, like, at certain points, I guess. But why does more sand make him, like... I don't even know, like, what does Sandman even do in that movie? Sandman's not fucking relevant in No Way Home. He, like, grabs Tom once. And then gets his hand cut off by some, like, construction equipment. Whoa. And again, Goblin had no amped armor in the condo. That's all natty. And the only amps are... It's not even an amp. It's just like, if I'm holding a knife, like, am I amped? Like, I guess. But, like, I'm not fucking swinging any harder than otherwise. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say about Rocky. I did the ranking, and that did really well, obviously. And then I did Rocky versus Adonis. That did really well. And then Clubber versus Damien. That did really well. And then I did Has Adonis Surpassed Apollo? And that did far worse. So it's kind of like, I think the wells run kind of dry until whatever's next. And then I will be back. Who is the best scalar debater? I don't know that many like actual debaters. I think the YouTuber debater threshold has it's definitely widened since Seth stopped debating people. Yeah, all Sandman wanted was the box, bro. I don't know why. He was trying to drown Toby, though. It was kind of fucked up. Maybe he's just going to wait till he is fucking unconscious. Sandman was a little silly in Spider-Man No Way Home. He was acting kind of goofy. Kind of confusing and confounding and, you know, like a silly Billy. Sandman just wanted to go home, man. Is YouTuber a full-fledged job? I'm a YouTuber and I edit for other YouTubers. That is my full... That's the full breadth of my existence professionally. I help other YouTubers write, get paid for that. I stream with other YouTubers. I edit for other YouTubers occasionally. And top priority is, of course, my channel. Quite the silly man. Yes, indeed. Loki will be back. Not many people were talking about it, though, man. Loki was not really popping off. It did not necessarily infiltrate the zeitgeist as we might have all hoped. Yo, Mob, what's up, bruh? When are you going to do a collab with Chuck? Sooner than you might think. In fact, I might have his respective audio for our upcoming collab that will be uploaded on my channel. That could be the facts. It could be the case. It's possible. If you ever reach 1 million subs, what will you do? Thank the Lord. I would thank Jesus Christ. How much for you to react to a Danko vid? Fuck. Whatever the minute count is, just double that amount in dollars. That's gonna be that's a 2x multiplier to how much I need. If I were to donate 200 of 300, Kingdom Hearts 4. That'd be sick. When have I ever capped? Who's talking about capping on this channel? In my chat? You guys you've lost your mind, bro. Capping? Take that elsewhere, bro. How do you feel about Fortnite Doctor Doom feats? Pretty cracked. Not bad. Mildly impressive. He's no Goku, though. He didn't do shit to Goku. Rarely, please. Predictions on Death Battles Bardock. Bardock better win. Batman versus Cap. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I think what I gave you was the definitive answer. Other people are going to pussyfoot and be like, well, I think Cap's a super soldier. Batman's a peak human. Duh. I think I gave you the definitive answer. Yeah, Goku's the strongest in Fortnite. Doom has not gotten that statement yet. So until he gets it. Until he gets it, Goku would fuck up the Fantastic Four, Thanos, Iron Man, Thor, Galactus. You know what, green guy, for that? Get the fuck out of my fucking chat. Get the hell out of my face. Is Canary Shiva event in the present? Probably not, because the first Canary is alive in that. But maybe those pages, it's not released yet. It's still just the pencils. So maybe those pages are flashbacks. No idea. But it will become clear, obviously, once it's out. But it's hard to say. Yeah, Superman's also in Fortnite. Nebulous Fortnite version of Superman, but sure. Cap is one of my underrated faves. I love Cap too. My channel is not... I don't play favorites. I really don't. I'm like, okay, what's a versus match that either A, interests me just on the face of it, or B, is talked about a lot, but I feel like hasn't been done justice. And the Batman Cap thing, I'm like, you know, again, it's like, oh, Peak Human versus Super Soldier, blah. But it's like, well, they already fought, so let's just extrapolate from that. Like, why are we pretending JLA Avengers never happened? Why are we pretending that's non-canon? What's going on? What's up, Finn Coleman? Is Arkham Nightwing above Arkham Batman? Maybe. If you think like a bloodlusted hypothetical Arkham Batman would beat a Arkham Batman that is not bloodlusted, then it's possible. Do you read Venom? Not really. I think the only Venom I've read is Volume 1 of Lethal Protector from the 90s. I think that's the only Venom I've read. Thank you, Finn Coleman. Keep it up. You know what you can do that would really fucking make me happy? Is get the greatest stealth character, the sneakiest character in gaming. Get that to 100k. It's at 99k right now, and it's pissing me off. It's been at 99k for too long. Watch that video 238 times. That's it, bro. Just have it loop like overnight at double speed or something. Make it happen. What if I become a member right now? If you become a member right now, you get access to a Discord server with me, and you can hit me up whenever. And any question you ask in the live stream will get automatically answered to the best of my ability. In my hypothetical Nightwing versus Batman video that will be made at some point, it's going to happen. When there's nothing else to talk about, I will talk about that. Or if I'm like pissed off or something, I'll do it. In that video, I would go, listen, guys, I know everyone is seething. However, it's consistent. Think of your favorite universes. The DC animated universe. Batman fights some fucking goon with a hook hand and gets slashed up, bloodied, and nearly killed by him. Whereas in the same episode earlier, Nightwing just fucking blitzes and shits on him. Wow. DCAU Nightwing seems to be above DCAU Batman. Everyone's favorite fucking version of the character. That's crazy. Isn't that special? Thank you, Cheese. You're a goat. Make sure that the Discord thing is working. So far, I think it's been working, but I always want to check. Arkham. Whoa. Whoa, in Arkham VR, Batman post Arkham City is like, holy shit. If I went crazy, Nightwing could fucking fight me and, like, press me. Like, he'd be in there with, like, a broken jaw and shit. Like, if I sucker punched him off the bat while his guard was down, he would still be able to fight me and counter me and shit. That's crazy. And I could trust him to beat the, like, entire Justice League with fucking Tim Drake, who sucks. Like, I think the two of them could get it done. How do I join the Discord? So, if you look at the join, like the membership page, there should be a link to the Discord there. I'm fairly certain. And if you have a Discord, you should be able to connect and get a role. Same goes for you, Cheese. Okay, let me do some troubleshooting then. Let me do some troubleshooting here. Let me see here. Let me fix this. What's up? See you later, Finn.
All right, check it now. Check it now. There should be a button for Discord you can press. The writers said no, it's not the original universes from the shows. He definitely tried to like cope with that shit. To not piss people off. X-Men 97 versus MCU Avengers. I watch it multiple times. Good shit, man. Appreciate you. That's legendary. Do y'all see it now? Dead Kev and Cheese. Do y'all see the Discord perk? The link is from a post made 5 months ago, and it's grayed out. Let me do this then. All right, so now it should be in the perk description. Once you're a member, there should be a link to the Discord now. Would you say your live-action Batman versus live-action Spider-Man vid is outdated now? As you said, their Batflick is faster than the 3 live-action Spider-Man. Batflick probably is still faster. I don't know why he'd be slower. For now, if you guys are still if you're still getting issues, just put your Discord tags in the chat and I'll just add you. I'll add you to the server and figure it out later. But I just added the link in the perk description. Okay. Says it's an incorrect username. Strangely enough. Kill immortal beings. Very cool. Today I'm definitely comics. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. Neither of your Discord names are showing up on Discord when I go to the add friends section. Let me think for a second. Here's what I'll do, actually. This is probably the best solution for the moment. Is I'm gonna make a post that only members can see. That it'll have the link to the Discord in it. So if you guys go to my community tab, you should be able to see that. So there. Just posted it for all channel members. Discord is bugging. I don't know what the hell that's... I don't know why. Like, neither of your usernames. I changed my privacy settings as well to, like, accept all friend requests from everybody. Like, not just friends of friends. And it still did not let me do it. But yeah, that should work now. Yeah, my Discord is just for it's just for channel members. There were some people in there. It was like public for a little window. And so there's like some Noah Ark like survivors from that era. But currently, it's pretty much just been locked down. It's been locked down for like a year, and then just recently I started bringing in channel members as like a perk. Had to have a mentor type relationship. It would have made more sense to be Cap than Iron Man. Iron Man and Spider-Man have nothing alike. They're not similar characters at all. Not similar.
I see you, bro. Welcome. I see you as well, Dead Kev. You got the roll. Not bad. Well, now that we got that sorted, I've been streaming for over 2 hours, so I will see you all later. Thank you, Turner, for the donos, and thank you, Dead Kev and Cheese, for becoming channel members, and I will talk to you guys later in the Discord. But as for everybody else, thanks for stopping by, and I will see you all next time.